Hi guys, welcome to Pageant Professors. I'm Prita and this is Nicole, and today we are talking about how you can raise cash for your stash.
Yeah, from entry fees to the price of your gown to everything that you purchase for competition weekend. I think it can really add up very quickly, and fundraising is a huge part about being a pageant contestant. And you don't have to break the bank to compete and have a great time during your competition.
Definitely. So we've come up with some unique ways to help you think outside of the box and have great options when you're looking at ways to fundraise.
Well, most recently, Allie competed at Mrs. Arizona America, and she bought a beautiful McDougal gown.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So she took our advice from our Gowns on a Budget course, and she raised the money by putting her own items and handbags and gowns on eBay for sale. And so the revenue that she got from her own sales went to the price of that gown, which is genius. I mean, it's sitting in your closet anyway, and you're not going to use it, so why not sell it?
Yeah, a lot of people, when they think of eBay, think that they have to have a collectible item or some type of valuable item that no one else can find for it to sell. But that's not true. You won't believe how many BB dresses, express dresses, things that maybe you wore a couple years ago or a couple months ago and it's still in good condition, but that somebody else would happily purchase. And I've been on the other end of that where I actually buy dresses on eBay all the time. If they're gently used maybe once or twice and they're $70 or $80 cheaper than they are retail, I'm all over that.
Oh yeah,
so
why not?
there are plenty, it's a market out there. People will want to buy it, And how many of us don't have dresses or tops in our closet that still have the tags on them?
You're like the queen of that.
I am. Well, it's just, there are things that I was like, oh, I'll buy this and I'll be able to get the perfect belt or I'll be able to have it altered. So, it's not quite ready yet, but it will be. And then I just never get around to it. And I'm not going to get around to it.
Right.
So put that kind of stuff up on eBay. People will buy it. You can raise money for your stash, and you're good to go.
Exactly. Well, along the same lines, and just going back to Allie, when
Allie is a source of all of these fantastic ideas.
She's such a money saver. I can't even believe it. She's got to write her own book. But with Reagan coming, I was on Etsy all the time, and I hadn't even heard about Etsy until Reagan was, on her way here.
Reagan is Allie's darling daughter.
The most beautiful child you've ever met.
We call her Miss USA 2030.
She'll get there one day. But she was purchasing hair bows and all these homemade goods that people were selling online. And, if you have a hobby like that, like I just started knitting. And if I really wanted to, I could crank out some scarves and put them on the website for sale.
Yeah, Etsy is basically an eBay for handmade goods. So there's a market for just about
anything
and everything. I love Etsy. From art, if you are maybe a great painter, or if you even just have a catchy way. There's letter presses. There are things that are printed out on printer paper, but they're done in such a way, and it's kind of like a creative art form.
Yeah.
They look gorgeous, but if you have any of those kinds of hobbies, you do anyways, maybe you just make them for friends, now you can put them up on the website and actually make some money off of them. It's a really great way. I encourage all of you to check it out, even if you're just a buyer. I'm not creative enough, so I just buy. I don't sell. But there's still great things, from handmade jewelry to home goods to paper goods. Literally, you name it, you can find it on Etsy. So check that out.
Absolutely. My teen was talking about, Miss Stellar International Teen, 2012, Melissa King, she was talking about her own struggles with fundraising, and she's a gymnast, among other things, and I was just thinking about ideas as to what teens could do to fundraise. And I remember being an after-school tutor in high school, and I remember getting tutored in elementary school, and my parents paying a significant sum for someone to tutor me.
Right.
So if you're in high school and you know someone that's maybe younger than you or maybe a peer, tutoring services is a great way. I mean, $20 an hour or however much you charge, it's a really great, unique way to use your school after time to help a friend out and make some cash.
Speaking on the same thing of teens, another idea that I love for teens is car washes. I do it all the time, and I talk about this, we talk about this a little bit in the classroom time as prep time, but using your resources at school, whether you're part of maybe a band or part of your school cheer squad or something, you can use that peer support to say, hey, cheerleaders, help me throw a car wash to raise funds for this. And a lot of times, I mean, people want to help great people out. So you'll get that kind of support. And when you're a teen, I think car washes are a little more, if you're older, it's kind of hard to garnish that type of, I don't know if we would get anyone that would want us to wash their cars. But if you're a teen, I think there's a lot more flexibility. You can have a lot more fun with that. And that's another great way. But to your point about tutoring, I think with all of these ideas, it also comes down to making sure that you put money away.
Yeah.
$20 doesn't sound like a lot, and if it's sitting in your pocketbook or in your purse, it's easy to spend it, and that $20 is gone quick. But if you literally put aside a piggy bank and just, here's everything, I'm not going to break the bank until, pageant prep time comes, it's amazing how much that will add up, whether it's $5, $10, but the key is putting it aside and not touching it for any of your day-to-day stuff.
Absolutely. I have a jar on my desk at home, and it has all the money that I've raised from the various fundraisers that I did for National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and just from supporters that have, sent in money, like my friends or my family.
Right.
And it's literally in a jar, and you can kind of just see the dollars accumulate, and it's just like great motivation to be out there and to raise money for your pageant.
Right. And another idea, I think, what I use, it's not necessarily a fundraising idea, but it's a budgeting tip that helps, is I actually used to be addicted to Starbucks every morning, $5, but $5 a morning, that adds up. That's $35 a week. It goes fast. So I actually just set up from my Bank of America checking account to an auto transfer to my savings. So every Friday, it deducts $35 out of my checking and goes straight over to my savings without me having to do anything. And $35, it's not something I notice. It's not like a big hunk of change. But then when I go and look at my savings account and notice, oh my gosh, I have $400 in there. And that's just something small, but setting it aside really, really helps with that.
I'm totally going to do that. I used to go out to lunch, a couple times a week, but I mean, a lunch out in, downtown Baltimore, that could be easily $10, $12, $15 if you're out. And if that happens, twice a week, that's $30. So
exactly.
I'm going to do that this week.
It's really...
And basically every week until Miss International.
Right. And there's no reason not to. Those small things that you give up, but it's when you're having to say, oh my gosh, I have to set aside $2,000. That,
it's like,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it in small increments that are just, you're not even noticing, it's just such a better way. I do the same thing with cash. I almost never have cash on me, but when I do, it immediately goes into this piggy bank because otherwise I spend it. You spend cash. Here you go.
I love it.
So putting it aside, great way. Thanks.
One more idea that I love for teens is a jeans day.
I like that. You mentioned that.
Yeah. Well, I went to an all-girls Catholic school in high school and wore uniforms pretty much all my life. And so every Friday, or not every Friday, but every so often we would have a Friday and you could wear jeans. So for $2, for $5, you could wear jeans and it would go to a special cause. So, if you just talk to your principal, I'm thinking about doing this at work. To have like a casual Friday because we're very professional during the week. And so if everyone in my office donated $5, I mean, there's 250 people that work in my company.
Yeah, if you even just got half of them. Yeah. So not even everybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, my gosh, it adds up quick.
For one day.
Yeah, the big thing is to think about little dollar amounts. When you're going up, you're asking people to donate money. If you're asking someone to donate $100, it takes them a little more pause. But if you're saying, hey, just $5, if you say just $5 to 100 people, it's a lot easier for people to part with $5. It's not a huge commitment, but it adds up.
It definitely adds up. And the people that work with you or that go to school with you, they know you. There's an interest there. They know that you're going to do great things with that money and with your title. So, it's hard to maybe, interest people that you don't know. And so, if you can't convince people that you do know, my goodness.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
One other thing I'll say too is that I have found, especially when you're asking, we're Facebook, Twitter, people are on social media, so you have a ton of contacts out there that you may not be seeing face to face, but that you still have a presence with. So setting up something on your Facebook page or maybe on your blog that have you ever seen, I'm doing a lot of charity walks right now, but they always give you like a fundraising goal. And there's like
there's like a meter.
There's a meter so that everyone who's coming to visit your site can see where you are. If you have a goal I think it sends the message to someone that you're prepared. You know, you're not just asking for money, but you have a specific amount that you're trying to get to. You know what you're going to do with that money. And so it's a good investment for them because it's not just throwing money down the drain, but it also shows them how close or far away from your goal you are. So if you're a long ways to go, someone might say, you know what, I'm going to help you along. Here's $150.
Yeah.
But maybe you're really close to your goal and you only need $20 left.
Exactly.
They might bump up their $5 contribution and be like, hey, let me just take you all the way to your goal.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back to the point about reaching out to people that you know.
Yes.
I get so many requests on Facebook, so many requests on Twitter from people that I don't know or that I don't remember how I know you. I don't know why we're Twitter friends. I don't know why we're friends on Facebook. It's very impersonal, and I think if you target your requests to people that you really have a relationship with, you're going to be more successful. You're just going to be more successful, and that's plain and simple.
Oh yeah, there's lots of fundraising sites that will say, plain and simple, if you send out a mass email to everyone that sounds the same, that looks like a mass email, they're probably not going to pay attention to it. But if you say, hey Nicole, I really want to do this. This is why I'm doing it. This is the background behind it. Here's what I need to raise money for specifically. They're going to be more inclined to want to help you accomplish your goals.
Absolutely.
So,
well, and pay it forward. I think people have supported me throughout the years, and so if someone's doing a walk that I know has supported me in the past, I'll give them $5 or $10 or $20 because I know that they've supported me. So just a common courtesy. If someone has extended their hand to you, then certainly support them right back.
Agreed. So one last thing I want to mention is we're talking about how to raise cash for people, but sometimes cash is hard. Businesses in this economy, maybe they don't have the extra money to give away, but if you're out in your community and you're meeting people from local business owners or whatnot, you can always get support for your title or for your competition in ways that aren't cash.
Yeah.
I, for example, go to a med spa and I get facials from this woman that are amazing, and I've always done it and I loved it, but I said, hey, I'm now competing for a pageant. Would you mind sponsoring me in the form of facials, whether they're discounts, whether they're a free facial for every 3? And businesses, she was like, absolutely, but businesses are more likely, it's easier for them to give you a goods or service that doesn't necessarily take, cash out of their pocket than it is for them to donate. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
One of my sponsors is a boutique. It's Nosa Boutique in Wilmington, Delaware, and while Anne hasn't given me money outright, she's given me the option of, every time I have an appearance, just to stop by the boutique. If I need any jewelry, if I need a handbag, if I need a dress, to come by and borrow one for the evening. And it's fantastic.
Think about how much money that would be. If you get a great appearance dress, that's $100. And if you're, or more.
Plus earrings.
Plus a jacket. All of that adds up. So when you're talking about we're going to nationals for a week, there's a lot of appearances there. We're going to need a lot of outfits, and that can add up. But even things like if you go get your nails done, if you go get your hair done from a salon, or maybe even I really liked a couple years ago, I worked with a local print company. So he printed up my business cards for free, or your ad pages or stuff like that. So think about creative ways that maybe you deal with these individuals and their businesses in daily life. Tanning salons are always doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Here's, buy 1 month for a session, here's 3 for free, or spray tans or whatever. So think about creative ways that you can reach out to businesses in your community and have a plan B. Maybe you need the cash and you ask for that up front, but have a backup plan and say, you know what, I understand that maybe right now you can't do that, but what about this?
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt to ask. Literally the worst thing that could happen if you ask someone for support is that they'll say no. What do you have to lose?
That's it. And I think going to them in person, it's even harder for them to say no. And they, get to see your personality. They get to see how you, relate and communicate. And I think you'll be more successful if you do it that way.
Oh, I agree. People are always nervous about asking for money, but I think if you have a good reason why you're doing it, people actually respect it and want to be part of your journey, and this is a great way for them to be involved.
Absolutely. So those are just some of the unique ways that we've thought about raising money for our own sashes. So if you have any unique ideas that you have done or want to share, let us know in the box below.
Did you know that there are some really common mistakes that girls make during the evening gown portion of their competition? Click on the link in the description below and you'll be taken to our website for a free 30-minute long training course. By the end of it, you'll learn how to avoid these common mistakes and master the evening gown portion of your competition today.